Welcome to the 16-ounce Cinema Podcast.
Hello and welcome to 16-ounce Greenhouse, where we drink pints and talk petunias. I'm here with Angus, who'll chlorophyll you up.
I'm out.
Angus, say hello.
What? I did not understand any of that. And
I'm here with Mike, who puts the pistol in the stamen.
Well,
Michael, say hello.
Fortunately for me, I did watch a flower-themed movie, so this is perfect.
And that's right. Tonight we're going to be talking bougainvillea. Is it a purple flower, a good security measure, or merely the ferocious bitch cat of the plant kingdom?
I feel like you guys planned this without me. What the fuck are you talking about?
I hope you watched the movie about flowers too, Angus.
I didn't.
Indeed.
Well,
I had some lovely hibiscus in my movie.
I had roses and yellow things that you would know the name of, but not me. So
they might have been carnations.
Ooh, actually,
or tulips.
They might have said carnations. They were fat. Are carnations fat?
No, carnations look kind of like mums.
I don't know.
Carnations are like the prom flower that you put on a girl's tit.
It's like a fat prom flower. So like, what happens to the prom people like a decade later? That's what this flower looks like.
Oh, okay. I smelled some lovely lilies today. I almost wanted to buy some fresh lilies for my house.
I really hope me and you didn't watch the same movie after this conversation we're having here.
My movie had sunflowers.
Perfect.
So we're actually 16 cinema. We talk pints and pictures. I just wanted to freshen up the intro.
I like it.
Sometimes I get tired of doing the same old thing. So
let's get right into it.
Well, you finally got it right.
So the theme for this episode again is No, it's not bougainvillea. It's Lifetime movies. But before we get to our Lifetime movies, we'll talk about our beers. I've heard that I'm first this week. So the beer I got, which I think pairs really well with my movie, is it's brewed in St. Louis, and it's a lovely kind of almost transparent golden color. There's minimal labeling on it, so you can see a lot of the beer. It's got a nice kind of blue and yellow pop top, or twist off, not a pop top. I'm sorry, and it is Land Shark Premium Lager. Picked because it is watery, flavorless, and indistinct, just like a Lifetime movie.
No, I don't. Oh, that's pretty good. But I like Land Shark, though.
It's such a basic beer to pick.
Distinct.
Makes perfect. I actually did pick a very apropos, I think, Lifetime movie. Beer. It's actually Angry Orchard's Rose Cider.
Oh my god!
So it makes sense. It's made with rare red flesh apples from France. So I'm very excited.
Aren't most apples red?
An irresistible.
Are they like peachy?
Apples?
Tell me more about this red flesh apple. Did you not research it? Because what's rare about it?
What? I think we should move on.
You should have fact-checked this Angry Orchid. You should have gone on Snopes and put an Angry Orchid Rose Cider.
First of all, I am on ratebeer.com, and they wouldn't lie to me.
So. No, I know. I
Did
believe you.
I just rate beer?
Yeah.
Angus?
That would be so perfect with our theme,
yeah.
I think.
I'm drinking some Angry Orchid GHB cider. It says it'll get me big.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, you guys are really fucking confusing me this episode. I don't know what the fuck.
You don't even know what
on.
podcast we're on.
Or something?
If you're going to talk about a movie or a bougainvillea.
Tell us about your beer, Angus.
I don't even know what a bougainvillea is.
Okay, so it's those big bushy ones.
No,
they have purple flowers and like cat claw thorns.
You can do this for an hour. This is your fault.
It's actually my own
fault. Why does
fault.
he know so much about plantation?
Because I went to school. Plantations.
Well, not plantations.
You go to. My beer is getting warmer by the second.
I'm sorry.
My beer won't taste any different, cold or warm or hot or watered down or not.
About you.
Dude, he's so amped up this episode. It's fucking crazy.
Oh, well,
right.
another reason I
Oh,
brought
God
Land
damn it! Let me explain my fucking beer.
Shut up.
Like, you got Mike angry. That's fucking crazy. All right, I got a beer from the company is called Legal Draft Beer Company from Arlington, Texas, and I originally wanted like a beer to go with my theme, so like I figured Lifetime movie, like probably women being abused, so I was just gonna
Keystone.
get Natty Ice or something. And hey, don't badmouth the Keystone.
Yeah, but look at how he dressed. He had like denim shorts and a cuffed like Skid Row shirt.
Who? Who had that?
Yeah, who are we talking
That
about?
Keystone guy who was in all the Keystone ads back in the day, who we
Oh.
thought was so cool.
Because he had cutoffs and beat women?
Well, this is a pretty like out there reference. You gotta like love Keystone.
I don't even know the Keystone guy.
We thought he was cool in like 2005. We got to move on because no one knows this but me.
And me, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't remember this at all. I remember the guy from the Burger King commercial we idolized who called the guy an arrogant punk.
I still look up that ad like once a year. Yeah. So are you
Yeah,
drinking
me
a
too.
beer? Are we gonna let you talk about it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's called, and it fits with my movie, it's called Accused Amber Lager.
Yes.
All right, let's pop them.
All right.
Oh, wait, you got
Here's
it.
my land shark.
All right.
So another reason I picked land shark was because I just full disclosure, I went out to Smoky Bones tonight with the family, and I sort of had 4 beers already while I was there. So
That explains this.
yeah, I had a couple high lies, and Smoky Bones has their own Imperial Red, which is pretty good. Nothing like crazy good, but it was a good red ale. And
I hate red.
I should have
hate
taken
red
some
ale.
notes to talk about the Imperial Red, but whatever. We were on a Lifetime episode.
It would have just made me angry.
Did you get the highlight because Mike had it last episode? or
Oh
the
no,
episode before?
I like High Life, and I didn't see immediately that they had their own beer. Otherwise, I would have tried that first.
Way to not make me feel important.
They sell 12 packs of High Life now.
This beer is delicious. It feels like... I don't even know what it feels like. It's good.
Okay,
It
so
shouldn't feel like anything. It should taste.
where are you pouring it? Are you pouring it in your mouth or in and around your mouth?
Down my throat. Yeah, it's going into my body. Maybe it's keeping me cool because my house is really hot. So
And you poured it on your chest. You poured it on your chest and
I am
rubbed
actually
it into
rubbing
your
it on
skin,
my
and you
nipples
oiled up
right
a beer.
now. I am doing that.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, I had a story about Lifetime.
Your
movies.
beer?
No. Oh, so this,
Have you reviewed
this
it
one
yet,
time
or-
when I was hanging out with Jimmy Buffett, he told me this story about his wife had a friend.
And the
So his
dinosaurs
wife
came?
had a friend who this is now actually not Jimmy Buffett, it's me. My wife had a friend who moved away, right?
I like this story better when.
And she packed up everything that she could in her car to move, but left behind a few, like a couple boxes of her DVDs.
Children.
DVDs.
Oh.
She's kind of like us, where she had hundreds of DVDs. She left a couple behind, and then she relied on another friend to get them to her,
Is that Jimmy
to
Buffett?
mail them to her. Yeah, Jimmy Buffett was gonna get them to her, but Jimmy was wasting away in Margaritaville and never did it. And the place where they were being kept was kind of like I guess rented. Anyway, the DVDs were lost.
In paradise
Oh,
while they were
no.
eating
And-
cheeseburgers.
And I remember my wife telling me the story, and I got so angry because, like, can you guys imagine? Like, imagine you rely on a friend to get you your part of your collection. That's part of your passion, and they fail you, and you lose like L through N of your alphabetized collection.
That
And
was
I remember
pretty
being
infuriating.
so mad for like days until like one day I woke up and I was like, wait, I've seen this girl's collection. I remember I opened her trunk and saw a box full of like Lifetime and Patricia Arquette movies. And then I was like, no, it's not so bad. Those are gone forever. That was my story.
What the fuck?
The weird part is I remember her collection from her trunk of her car.
So you know who I'm talking about.
That's
And you remember I
remember her trunk full
the
of
trunk
movies.
full of Patricia Arquette movies.
I was just shocked that somebody had so many movies in their trunk, like seemingly all the time.
Yes, all
It was very
the
strange.
time.
The only
Like,
other people that do that are guys in the hood selling bootlegs. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but they weren't even good movies. Like I said, Lifetime, Hallmark, and Patricia Arquette.
Hey, yo, I got that new Patricia
how much you spent
Arquette
on all
movie.
those
They really
movies.
stuck out in my mind. Yeah. See bootlegging the new Patricia Arquette. I can't even say her goddamn name right now. So
What the fuck did that story have to do with anything?
well, because she had most Lifetime
she had a bunch of
movies
Lifetime
in her
channel
trunk
movies.
all the time.
We still haven't talked about the beer. I never got to explain mine.
Did you not?
Oh,
Fucking
You have accused!
No, I said
I
what
totally
I got.
cut
Oh,
him
you
off,
didn't tell
yeah.
us.
Yeah, but I didn't say what
Oh.
it tasted like.
All right,
It's
cool.
good.
So my movie,
Sweet.
Cocksucker.
I watched
Well, yes.
Jim Henson's Turkey Hollow, narrated by Ludacris Bridges.
No, really?
Yes, yes, that's not the narrated by Ludacris Bridges isn't actually in the title. But I was fortunate enough that my library had an honest to God physical DVD copy of this movie. And on the DVD packaging, front and back, it highlights the fact that Ludacris Bridges narrated it. In fact, on the back, it says narrated on screen by Ludacris Bridges. So it's not just narrated. You see Ludacris Bridges in the flesh in like a nice little like preppy sweater, talking and narrating the movie and moving you along the story.
We don't even need to do this episode. You win.
Yeah, he shows up like he shows up for the ad breaks. So like when it's leaving for the ad and coming back from an ad, he comes in.
Wait, what?
Amazing.
Well, because
So
it's
he's not like really he's not narrating the movie, he's just narrating the ads?
No. Like so, these are made for TV movies. He narrates the stories, but he kind of like. He's like, oh no, what's going to happen next? And then you have the ad break, and then he comes back, and he's kind of like,
okay.
he's like the captain's log, Ludacris log. Here's what's going
that's
on in this
awesome.
movie. Yeah. Yes.
Does he really call it Ludacris log? Because
No!
I would vote you right now.
He sits on a log, but he does not say
Episode's over.
Ludacris log. Ludacris date. 13.
I can't wait till
18.
this episode is over so I can Google the images all of this movie.
But not watch it.
But yeah, exactly.
So,
Well, we need to hear
and it
Ludacris.
opens up right on him, and he talks about how this story is going to take place in an unhip town. And he gives like dad jokes, no laugh track.
Are these actual like Jim Henson like Muppets? Like, is it one of those?
Well, Jim Henson was no longer alive, so it's his creature shop.
Well, you know what I mean,
but-
asshole. I didn't think he was friends with Ludacris.
Yeah, but I mean, not like Kermit and Piggy.
Well, I don't think the fucking famous ones either.
Yeah, this is
fucking
not a
Muppets,
prequel. This is not a prequel or spin-off to the Dark Crystal.
I
or,
never said
you know,
that,
Labyrinth.
asshole. Just asking if they were
an
fucking
alt-
Muppets.
This one is actually a soft reboot of Labyrinth.
Jesus Christ. This is gonna be a rough one, man. I didn't have
It was
any.
a backdoor.
I had no pre-beers this episode, so like I'm gonna be fucking wound up now.
It was a backdoor pilot for a new Labyrinth show on Lifetime.
Nice.
Angus is so angry.
I'm fucking fuming right now.
You're just gonna go back
started-
and forth making me and Angus angry this whole episode.
I started him off so hot with that 16-ounce greenhouse stuff.
I'm gonna go get some whiskey to
Which, like, I just thought about that board today. I was just sitting there like, man, I want to spice things up in the intro today. And that was at work before I even had anything to drink. Eventually I'll talk about my
says
movie.
You.
Uh-huh. Okay, so now we're in a car. There's this like family. There's a dad and a son and a daughter.
Are they driving and tell people to move, bitch? Get out the
way. The girl does start singing, "I am so hot, I'm gonna take my clothes off." The dad's like, "No,
Nelly, no."
I can't remember anything when I'm 5 beers in. What do you want from me?
That was racist.
You really are acting a fool.
Danger!
Actually, no.
And then I'm actually already on the floor, on pillows. Oh, Ludacris Bridges has already introed that they're going to Turkey Hollow, the most town in America. So it's some backwoods nowhere, and
I heard Ludacris has O's in that area code.
Yeah.
I think I've literally done every song of his I know. I'm done.
So they're in the car. The teens are sulking because they're going out to nowhere. They quickly in the dialogue tell you that the dad is just come out of a divorce. He's afraid to say the word divorce for some reason because that's character development. So by the end of the movie, he will say the divorce, but he says stuff like the decoupling and the dissolution of our marriage.
The decoupling sounds like a woman who had breast cancer, which would fit into the Lifetime thing.
That sounds like a really elaborate way to finish sex. Like, man, I decoupled her last night. They're like, bro, that's nasty. I thought you loved this girl. Like, nah. Not no more. Not after what I did to her when I decoupled.
Oh, this is stupid.
So they're visiting the dad's aunt. Her name is Aunt Mary Steenburgen. Even something else, but it's Mary Steenburgen. On the way there, they get into town, and there's a local Bigfoot legend about the hideous Howlin' Hoodoo. I love that name. That sounds like a cool 70s monster, the hideous Howlin' Hoodoo. If they made maybe if there was a blaxploitation Bigfoot movie, might be the hideous Howlin' Hoodoo.
Oh God, I want to make a joke about that, but I can't.
So Aunt Mary Steenburgen had a husband, Uncle Ned. He's dead now, but he was goo-goo for the hoodoo. And he has a little garage full of notes and experiments trying to find the hideous Howlin' Hoodoo. Aunt Mary Steenburgen, Michael will be glad to know, she makes a living selling essential oils.
Oh, nice.
I thought it was
the family, and she's
jobs.
Yeah,
she's a hippie. She's a hippie, so she has some awesome lines that would make especially Mike just boil. I've saved some of them for you. So
wait.
When the dad first shows up with kids, she sniffs them and says, "You've been feeding them meat. I thought you had more sense than that."
We're back to making Mike angry. Okay.
Yes. And she has turkeys just wandering her land, and the kids ask, "Oh, do you raise turkeys?" And she says, "Goddess, no, I rescue them."
I was hoping she'd be like, "Get back, motherfucker! You don't know me like that."
I wish I could do a Mary Steenburgen impression for that. So the teen girls, her character arc is laid out. So her entire, in this next scene, her entire character is that she's a teen girl who doesn't have internet. That's her for the entire movie. So now you know the daughter. I didn't write down any of their names, by the way. That's it. Aunt Mary.
I never remember names in my movie.
Yeah, I also did not do that for the movie.
Aunt Mary Steenburgen asks the kids, or offers the kids rooms where they can stay in. She says you can stay in one room, which is drafty, or the other room, which is smelly. So that's very hospitable of her. So the son, he finds dead Uncle Ned's hoodoo stash, and Aunt Mary Steenburgen like just yells at him, "Leave! Get out of here!" And
she roll out,
roll out. So he rolls out.
Is the hoodoo stash like marijuana? Like, what are we talking about?
No. Uncle Ned was trying to find the hoodoo is the Bigfoot. That's their name for Bigfoot. The hideous howling hoodoo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, keep up.
How can we?
The daughter says this is #boring as she just kind of lays on the couch without internet. Okay. So the dad's working through Thanksgiving because I guess the divorce has made him worried about money and his job, and it's a Lifetime movie, so the dad has to ignore his kids, and that's his whole plan. And the kids get angry about it, and then one of the daughters, the daughter says to him, when Veronica's parents got divorced, at least they had the decency to spoil her. And then she like slams the door. Sad piano plays. Yeah. So then in the night, there's all these weird noises out in the jungle, the forest. So the young kid goes out to explore, and then Ludacris Bridges shows up. And he talks about, I'm scared of the hoodoo, and I hope that little boy doesn't get murdered. I bet he's going to get killed out there.
Does the kid hear that?
No. He like the kid walks past, and then the camera pans over, and Ludacris Bridges is just hanging out watching events unfold unseen. And then he talks about how he's scared out there.
Oh, I was going to say, like, if Ludacris was there, like, narrating shit I was doing, I don't think he would be subtle about it. I think I would notice him and hear him.
Oh no, it is like he's right there, and the members of the cast don't see him.
How do you not see
like,
Luda?
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah. Because, shh, be quiet.
Jesus Christ. That's like...
We're
it's
all
like
upset
8
about
years
the misuse
before.
of Ludacris,
So the kid like goes out exploring the forest. Nothing comes of it, but
like
he gets
a real no limit soldier.
He ends up letting a bunch of turkeys loose. And it's some old farmer who lives next door to Aunt Mary Steenburgen. And him and his students catch the kid, and the old man holds this 10-year-old boy at gunpoint and calls his aunt a tree-hugging,
Nice.
hemp-growing socialist witch.
He should have said, "What you got in that case?"
That was the
I like
best
this guy.
line of the movie, by the way. Tree-hugging, hemp-growing socialist witch. I want to store that to call someone that. I've tucked that away, and that's the one thing I'm going to take from Jen Henson's Turkey Hollow, narrated by Ludacris Bridges, is tree hug hemp growing socialist witch.
I can't wait till you're put on an alt-right list.
How many times have I said it now? So the turkeys get let loose, and the old guy ends up letting the kids go, but he gets in touch with the police, and then the local
5-0?
sheriff shows up at
5-0, come up.
Yeah, the 5-0 shows up at Aunt Mary Steenburgen's house, and the sheriff is like all drooling over her. That's his entire character, is he can't talk to a woman, so he's like, oh my god, and he's like pouring buckets of sweat and saying like weird stuff. So like instead of saying sorry to disturb you, he says, I'm sorry to disrobe you. And then
It's good.
so then the old guy comes over, and I guess because Mary Steenburgen's nephew or great nephew let the turkeys out to a value of $10,000. If she doesn't repay the $10,000 in 2 days, the old man can just take all her land and her house and everything. And the sheriff also, without going to court, has the power to settle this civil lawsuit and say, yes, that's fair. That's what you have to do. And it just happens on the spot. The sheriff's like, yep.
I want to live there. I would live there.
Yeah. So this like re-encourages the kids' efforts to go find the hideous Howlin' Hoodoo because there's a $10,000 reward for pictures of the hideous Howlin' Hoodoo from like the National Enquirer or whatever. So he goes out into the forest again, and then you see Ludacris Bridges show up in a ghillie suit.
Oh my God, yes.
Comes out of the scenery.
Yes. Is he like yik yik whoop whoop? Is this what he says?
Yeah. Hooty-hoo!
That's the wrong rapper.
Dude, they've all been the wrong rapper. I think we've gotten 3 right.
Oh yeah, you're gonna call me
Might
out
have
now?
been pretty goddamn on.
Mike's just waiting to call me out specifically. No matter how many you and him deliberately get wrong, if I deliberately get one wrong,
I'm sorry, but all of mine were Luda.
Yeah, all mine were too. You've been the one that's been wrong all the
Yeah.
time.
It's all on you, bro.
yeah, I might have been Mystical and Nelly.
They literally have been. I think, and you had some Juvenile in there too. So at this point, Luda asks the kids to back their asses up. I don't know why.
Yes. Yeah, I know. And so Aunt Mary Steenburgen is kind of sweating it, but she tells the dad, the universe will provide. She always does. Meanwhile, the son is out there in the wilderness, and he finally meets the creatures of the movie. They kind of look like a turkey meets a ferret meets a shih tzu. They're pretty freaky and pretty hairy and got long necks and long tails.
What's a Shih Tzu?
Like that weird furry dog. Remember one time you watched like your girlfriend's dog and it looked like the mix between like an owl and a fuck you, and it would like sit on top of the couch and bark at us?
And then it drowned in a pool.
No.
No, that was a pit bull.
Yeah, that was a beautiful pit bull.
You weren't
Thanks for
there.
making
I
me
don't.
sad.
I don't know if Angus must have been there for the Shih Tzu because I was still living there too. And that dog was just hateful and awful and would just glare and bark at us all the time.
I don't remember.
And it was ugly. We were all really drunk, and it might have been a week of our lives, but I hated that dog. And anyway, so there's
That's hilarious. My dog's barking now. I can hear him.
yes.
I hope that picked
He's
up.
taking offense to this bullshit.
So there's 4 of these creatures, and their names are the sounds that they make. So you have squonk, gurgle, zorp, tring,
I like dork the most.
zorp, with a Z, zorp.
Oh, I heard dork.
I kind of like gurgle the most. Squonk, I wasn't crazy about because it took me forever to understand that his name was Squonk and not like Wonk or Wank or something. And Tring was annoying because there's actually a bell that played every time he made his sound. So he just hears this ringing bell every time. So now the kids are exploring. The daughter catches up with the son, sees that they have these freaky turkey things. And they're out there still looking for the hoodoo, following Uncle Ned's notes. They pass like a pumpkin patch where all the pumpkins have faces. And now Aunt Mary Steenburgen and the dad get Officer Drooly, call him that because he drooled all over Steenburgen, to find the kids. And Officer Drooly actually believes in the hoodoo, and he tells a story where he was in the fog, and they just show him back in the day, and there's tons of fog, and this huge red-eyed monster with its arms just flailing up in the air like a flailing balloon man shows up in the flashback.
It was Luda as a young teen with unarmed, and he shot him.
Well. After this, Ludacris Bridges shows up. He's at a drum set, just talking to Zorp. And so he just has this dumbass conversation with the turkey muppet. And now the turkeys actually come back to the old man's farm, but they decide to hide them so that he can still claim that they're gone and take Aunt Mary Steenburgen's land. And then the kids actually turn up on his hormone stash because Aunt Mary Steenburgen has been accusing him of giving his turkeys hormones but can't prove it, like illegal hormones. And then the kids find him in these huge barrels with Cyrillic writing all over them. Now Mary Steenburgen is dad, and they're out there trying to find the kids. So Mary Steenburgen just like bangs on a rock and then sings to the trees, and they move and like point the way for her to go. And they pass, like, there's this fake hoodoo, which is what the sheriff had saw. And so what happened is the old man had set up a fake hoodoo monster to scare people away from his hormone stash. And then Ludacris Bridges shows up again, and he's eating some berries, talking to one of the turkeys. I think it was Gerbil. And at the end of the bit, it turns out he's been eating poisonous dingleberries. So Ludacris Bridges is upset.
He's on a bad trip.
Yes. Yeah. And now Aunt Mary Steenburgen, they find the lair where the kids are being held, and they're held in like this rock building. So Mary Steenburgen gets the turkey muppets to eat them out.
Every time you say her name, I get fucking angry.
Good.
Like I clench my fist wanting to hit you.
So the turkey muppets, they eat a steady diet of rocks so they can eat through the concrete and free the kids. And then the turkeys all pile together, and the hideous howling hoodoo is actually when the turkey muppets all band together and they look like this freaky creature. And that's how Aunt Mary Steenburgen, the dad, and all the kids escape. And then
like the Power Rangers kind of thing? Like
yes,
morph?
yes.
Nice.
It's a megazord of fucking turkeys.
And then they all had this family moment in front of green screened mountains where everything's good now. And they get back, and then the evil old man, he's cornered because they found his hormone stash and they found all his turkeys, and they know all the bad things he's been about. And he calls Aunt Mary Steenburgen a mushroom growing, downward dogging devil woman.
Jesus Christ. I love that one more.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's very better.
And then, it all wraps up.
Can I ask something really quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ludacris is narrating the whole thing. Like, I don't know how to say this without sounding weird, but what was the family? Like
white. The family is white.
Are they?
Yeah, they're very white. It's a Lifetime movie, so they're like extra white.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Good.
That's all.
Good.
That's another reason I picked Land Shark, because it's a pretty white beer.
The only black people in my movie were servants.
Of course.
That's a pretty cool one in mine.
So coming back, well, Officer Drooly in my movie was black. So
see, I thought he was the white guy.
Nah, Officer Drooly was black.
Damn it!
And they had him.
And I have one more line from him, which is, as things are wrapping up, he says, "Let me know if there's anything else I can do to you." And then they all have Thanksgiving together, including Officer Drooly. He comes over for Thanksgiving.
And he rapes the whole family.
Yeah, no, he doesn't, because they have dinner with the turkey monsters, and they eat rocks. So as soon as he gets rock hard, they gobble him up.
Oh God! I hate that I like that joke.
And that's Jim Henson's Turkey Hollow, narrated by Ludacris Bridges.
Nice. That's so good.
That was pretty fantastic. Like, that movie, like, I thought about it, and it was like my Fanta to see.
Yeah, we certainly didn't have enough Luda in there that whole time.
Yeah.
Well, shit, how am I going to go after that? That's just
Jesus
nothing
Christ,
I got.
that is a rough one.
Angus is lucky he goes last. A little rewind from my shit that I'm about to spew. So I watched
Make it quick.
I am going to. I watched a film called Flowers in the Attic. It's a...
Oh, I've seen this.
What, really? Jesus! My heart stopped. I need a second. Oh my God.
Jesus.
I was so angry for a second. All right, it's a film about a death in the family.
Oh,
that
hold on.
Yes.
Like, what made you pick this?
Oh, I'm literally about to tell you.
Oh, okay, cool.
I
it was just such a weird title.
I picked it because I was like reading about good Lifetime Family Channel or whatever movies.
Oh, from a list.
From a list, yes. I googled good Lifetime Channel movies, and
I was hoping.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, next. I was gonna say, I was hoping the reason would be, well, I was looking through a list, and TJ had already said he picked Jim Henson's Turkey Hollow.
That's pretty fucking good. But when I was reading the synopsis about it, it just basically turned into someone dying in a family, and then them going to a grandma's house who's a cunt and who feeds them like cold chicken. And I also heard somewhere else that there's ghosts in it, so I was like, yeah, I'm watching this. But it turns out there's no ghosts. So
None of that is what has ever sold me on a movie, except maybe ghosts.
I mean, it's a Lifetime Channel movie. Like, what am I? Yeah, I got to pick something good.
Yeah.
So the movie starts with like.
So this was on before we get into it, this was on a list that said it was good.
It said it was I think the top 25 most watchable.
It said it was watchable.
Films. Yeah, watchable Lifetime films.
Like the top 25 Lifetime movies you won't throw up watching.
Yeah, it was 100% watchable. I got through the whole thing. I went, wow, it wasn't too bad. That's how I went through this movie. So we get like a walkthrough of an old broken home, kind of like the way like Alien starts, except nowhere near as cool because it's just an old broken down house. So there's nothing exciting about it.
Did Papa Roach live there?
Yes, TJ.
How what started?
Like Alien, like you know how in Alien they go through the whole spaceship for like the first 7 minutes, and you see all the cool shit.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay. You were like they go through a broken house like Alien, and I was like, Alien was on a spaceship, not in a house.
Yeah, no, it's just the camera work.
Okay, so they have a very
the alien's father left
because he was more interested in work than family.
So while we get the pan shot through the house. This woman is talking about how like life isn't as awesome as she thought it was gonna be because she had a great childhood and she was spoiled, and she also talks about the color yellow and how awesome it is, and it turns out like her
like that Coldplay song.
It's just like that, and it turns out her and her brothers and sisters were all blondes, so she likes the color yellow, and we're all told this. It also I think it's the main daughter that I'm gonna be talking about, but like nobody ever like. It doesn't sound like her, and nobody ever talks about who the narrator was. So I'm just going to assume it's the main actress.
The narrator was mystical.
Oh God!
DMX.
I would prefer.
I wish that I knew
actually.
their real names off the top of my head, so I could say, bop bop DMX bop bop
bop bop. I like that.
Yeah, bop bop.
Next, we actually meet Heather Graham, which isn't
what?
Yeah, she's in here. She's
okay.
She's not quite as fuckable as in Boogie Nights, but still, she's playing
I mean, I guess not, but she's hot.
Yeah.
Wait, younger or older?
Definitely older, but she almost looks exactly the same.
Yeah, she like doesn't really change much.
Yeah.
No, like even in The Hangover when she showed her tit, it was still like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Still.
Wait, that was her,
still
right?
pretty much. Well, now she looks like that, but she
I don't
looks
know.
like
I just assumed so. I'll agree.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
So anyway, she plays a housewife in this movie. There's the aforementioned oldest daughter, and she seems to have like this.
Don't call me daughter.
She seems to have this weird sexual hang up
famous Ludacris song
with her father, because every time she looks at her dad, like she gives him fuck me eyes, which is really creepy because she's 13 in this movie, I think, or maybe even 12.
Can I go back to an earlier comment because I really can't pay attention until I get this out of
Get it out of your system. Give it to me.
Earl DMX Simmons. I couldn't even say Simmons, right?
Were you good right now while I was talking, you asshole?
I totally was. I couldn't let it go. This is a 5-beer thing. Earl DMX Simmons.
My favorite thing is you did that joke, but before it, Mike said, "Give it to me." And X didn't give it to you. X didn't give it to you.
Earl gonna give it to you.
I knew what I was doing. So the 13-year-old fuck me eyes daughter is really sad because her dad's getting a promotion and she's a real selfish bitch. And the dad knows this, so he buys her expensive jewelry. And at this point, I wish my parents bought love, with money for me. That would be really nice.
Yeah, Mike's such a capitalist.
Yeah, I would have loved some more money. So after this, they throw a party for Daddy for getting, a promotion. But Daddy dies instead of showing up. And it seemed like a really shitty party, so I could see why he took the easy way out of that one.
Lifetime is full of bad dads.
No one actually seemed sad about this. They all seemed kind of like their pet dog died, and they just kind of went on about their lives. Heather Graham tells her daughter that she's just a pretty ornament, and she's sorry that she can't find a job because they start like kind of struggling because Heather Graham can't find a job. Fortunately for the movie, Graham's family that they never.
Can she still rollerblade?
No, unfortunately, she does go ice skating and sailing later in the movie. So she's moved on up. She's got really rich.
Okay.
So Graham's family like are really rich, and for some reason they never told them about the family or told the family about them. And basically all sadness is forgotten, and they moved to Virginia. Then we.
I thought that was gonna be the end.
No, there's some more.
And they moved to Virginia, and they might be ghosts.
And I blacked out. That's the rest of the movie. Goodbye. I need some beer. I got dry mouth here for some reason. Hang on.
I thought you had whiskey.
I in front of me have whiskey, a Yingling, and water. So I am loaded for tonight.
I have a land shark and water.
Yeah, the water is a good call.
Yeah.
When we meet the grandma, and she is indeed the C word. She's very mean. And her first scene, she steals the daughter's jewelry. She's just like, give it to me. And the daughter's like, no, Daddy.
Girl gonna give it to
Daddy. Oh, man.
I gotta be honest, I am picturing your entire movie like every
just a bunch of rappers.
12 minutes. Earl DMX Simmons shows up and on-screen narrates in and out of the ad break.
I mean, that would make a fucking amazing film, yeah. After the grandma steals the jewelry, the mother says it's okay.
DMX plays.
She says it's okay, and then everyone's dreams will come true for some reason. Excuse me.
She takes it and says, "Hey, just charge it to the game."
Oh, this is too much.
Mike squealed.
I did squeal. I snorted earlier. I'm all over the place with my noises today. So after that scene, Heather, I wrote this down. Heather Graham is kind of acting like Owen Wilson on drugs and caffeine, and playing like a mother and a pre-tan family in a dress. So like the whole rest of the movie, I can't even see Heather Graham. I just picture Owen Wilson in a dress, and that's how you guys should picture him.
Like coked out Owen Wilson in it, like an Owen Wilson Mrs. Doubtfire, but like darker.
Yeah, no, but like it's just like that. But like if Miss Doubtfire was like super subdued and couldn't act like at all and had no humor,
and it wasn't actually like Robin Williams pretending to be a woman. It was just a woman played by Robin Williams.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
At this point in the film, I'm really hating Angus,
which actually makes it really creepy because it's like this
movie. No. Yeah, so fuck you, Angus. This is about like 40 minutes in. I'm like, fuck Angus.
Wait, why?
Because I'm watching this stupid movie. Well, I didn't like it while I was watching it. I like it now.
Yeah, what the hell?
Sorry, man.
Rude.
The best scene is coming up. It's the scene where the grandma makes Heather Graham strip, and she makes Heather Graham show the kids where she got whipped, and she got absolutely slave whooping too. She got 18 lashes on the back, and then grandma's like, "Look at it, this is what you get." It was very fucked up.
I mean, I'm surprised, like, what goes on in this movie that's not a selling point right there.
I actually, that's the most fucked up thing.
I feel like I shouldn't be hearing this right now. I should be hearing this in the next segment, because, like, that's enough to make me want to watch this movie.
Yeah, I might have fucked up.
Even though I know it's, like, PG-13 level, but
yeah, it gets a little steamier coming up, too, so...
the Grandma Graham sex scene?
Oh, something like that, but not quite.
Grandma makes him say, na 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 na.
I almost spit-taked, which would have spewed all over the laptop and lost the episode.
Again?
Yeah, the second time. While she was like showing the lashes to the kids, like she made it seem like Heather Graham fucked her own father or something like that. She really seems to like hate the father of the kids for some reason, and it turns
The
out
father of the bride?
no, it turns out that the husband was Graham's stepbrother or something like that. She has a really weird speech about it, and she calls Graham's dead husband her step-uncle or something. I don't quite know how it works. So I think they are blood-related family.
Your sister
Ew.
is your aunt.
So then Grandma has another scene, has a different scene with the daughter, and then she's like, "So, has your brother, asked to fuck you yet?" Except she says it, in Lifetime channel speak. And the daughter's like, "No, that's my brother." And then Grandma's like, "I hate men." and then she buys everyone flowers. Go ahead, Angus.
Do you think he slipped her Silk the Shocker?
Oh my God.
And then
not-
Grandma cuts the internet.
Not yet, Angus.
The daughter does it anyway because #bored.
There's
then-
actually no. I
then
think this might have
she
taken place in
maced him.
1970 or something.
This was made in 1970.
No,
There's
no,
a Lifetime in
I
1970.
think back in I think the time frame is the 70s or something like that.
So it's another Heather Graham 70s movie. That's awesome.
I mean, it's timeless. There's no internet, so I don't fucking know. There's no TV
It's
either.
timeless.
What? There's no internet. There must be the 70s.
It takes place. I'm going to assume it takes place in 2398 when we've grown past the internet. We've evolved.
Back to flowers in the attic.
Okay,
We
speaking
communicate through the plants.
speaking of flowers in the
and
attic,
spores.
after the I hate all men scene, I guess Grandma got really kind of like she's just like she bought
Run over
everyone
by a reindeer.
She bought everyone flowers.
Oh, God damn it.
You. So while we get all these scenes with the kids and Grandma, it turns out that Heather Graham has just been like sailing and hanging out with her friends that she hasn't seen since she was a kid. All the while, her family is just hanging out in the attic all by themselves, not doing anything, and she's just having a blast.
Wait. Why are they in the attic?
They're in the attic. I don't know why I didn't say this part. They're in the attic because this is an important part of the movie.
The most important
They're
thing.
in the attic because her father only forgave her for leaving with her uncle or her step uncle or whatever the fuck happened if she didn't have any kids with him. And she's like, "Yeah, I don't have any kids." And so her and her mom are hiding the kids from the grandpa. So that's why she's hiding them. Okay.
I would live on the street instead of having to hide kids in the attic.
Yeah, but she gets to go sailing and stuff. So, she's liking her new
yeah.
lifestyle. She's got a tan. All good things are happening.
That's great. Yeah, it's good to get a tan. It's so hard for me to get a tan. If I got a tan, I guess the kid could stay in the attic.
See, even you, and you love your kid, man.
Yeah, it's alluring, that tan life, man.
Imagine me and you getting tans, and you go sailing. He's locked
Dude,
up
you're
to
always tan. Imagine me and Angus getting tans.
I know, that would be
I like
awesome.
to- I feel getting a little paler, but all right. So then,
Dude, you are a bronze Greek god,
I'm a little-
even though you're Polish. you're just always bronze.
that makes me happy. Thank you, TJ. Thank you for making me happy.
Yes. You know what? You're always bronze.
Can we
It's
just
fucking-
oil you up one day?
I get so angry that you're always bronze because it's fucking ludicrous.
Fuck you. You don't get to talk for the rest of my movie.
Fucking Christ.
You know what? You don't get to speak. How do I mute you? Can I mute you from here?
Let me just mute me on my end. No, you're real good at muting yourself or turning off your headphones, but you can't make me shut up.
All right. So the next.
You know he's notorious for these jokes.
Mike left the episode.
Finally quit.
I'm just really sad I don't get to make these jokes while I'm talking. I feel left out, even though I'm a part of it.
And we always complain that going last is the worst.
We're gonna be dead quiet while Angus talks.
Yes.
We're out of it.
Quiet as a tomb. I'm going to be hungover
hope
by the
so.
time Angus gets to speak. I'm just like, I'm done. I just need to drink some water.
This movie's
have
good.
some
This
Tylenol,
episode's
Gatorade,
gonna have to
and
like
go
a
to bed.
disclaimer, everyone was too drunk to make sense. Sorry.
Just really giggly, the giggly episode.
Jesus Christ.
All right, the next several scenes are the brother and sister playing like mom and dad to the two twins, which I don't think I've mentioned yet because I fucking hate kids. But there's another pair of twins, so there's 4 kids in the attic overall.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah, it's a lot, like one of them are like 12 and 14, and then like one of them's are like twins that they're both 5 or 7 or something.
So is the grandpa deaf? Because kids are not quiet.
It's a gigantic house. They're very rich. It's like an old Virginia, mansion kind of thing.
Oh, you like these big house movies?
I do. I
you
like
did
big
the
house
Kevin
movies.
Spacey movie. Anyway, okay, yeah.
All right, at this point,
That's your thing.
This is the
Big
point in
house
the movie
movies.
where I think the brother and sister are gonna fuck, because they're growing older with each other, and they're just in the attic all day together. So I'm getting
so this
a
is
little
like-
excited.
They're in the attic for years.
They will eventually be in the attic for like 3 years. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes, spoiler there, but yes.
All right.
We finally meet the grandfather, and Owen Wilson as Heather Grahams gives the old man like a fucking lip lock. Like she starts making out with him in like a party, and like everyone gets really uncomfortable, and like Grandma's just like, "Oh, there goes Heather Graham again." So they're for sure having sex.
She goes.
There she goes, my
There
friend.
she goes again.
Oh yeah. So on top of like lip locking
Our first
her father,
non-rap song.
she's also fucking her father's lawyer, and her kids are mad at her for doing that. But overall, the kids seem pretty just kind of chill for being locked in the fucking attic for 6 months, and we're at the 6-month scene so far. The next scene, the sister catches the brother looking at porn, like a Macy's like catalog lingerie thing, and
Wait, that's not.
well, it's porn for being in an attic, and you don't have anything else to look at, so.
Yeah.
So after that scene,
Okay.
Owen Wilson in the wig tells the daughter about sex, and the daughter starts dressing sexy like, and the brother like walks in on her and starts like staring at her, and that's like what's when Grandma shows up and scolds them and says like, "You're gonna go to hell. You've got the devils in ya," and stuff like that, weird grandma stuff. She tries to make him like cut her hair.
I remember when my grandma yelled that at me when I was dressing
that-
sexy in my attic.
When I dressed up like Owen Wilson,
We were just
dressing
like,
up
"Oh,
like Heather
Grandma."
Graham.
So she tries to make him cut her hair.
Oh, Nana, babushka.
Babushka. I can honestly say my babushka was never yelled at me, so I guess I'm lucky. I'm the lucky one here.
Oh,
So like if he doesn't cut her hair, they don't get to eat for a week. But like after a couple days, they like Grandma feels bad and brings them chicken. And
cold chicken.
Yeah, cold chicken, but still chicken. So somehow like the daughter gets tar in her hair, and the brother bathes her, and he tells her how pretty she is. So they kind of freak out for a little bit, and the next day they freak out. They're like, "Oh, we can't. We're brother and sister," and so they that happens.
Yeah.
And then the next day, she dresses like a ballerina because, she really wants it. And so far, it's like the last 30 minutes has just been a really, really long edging session between the two.
He's like, let me tell you, I know women. But she really wants it.
I mean, she dressed like a ballerina, slut. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah. Last
do
time
they
I
have
saw
all
Black
these
Swan,
costumes
like
in
all
the
those
attic?
chicks want it.
What was Angus saying?
Oh, these how do Angus could say it? I know what he said.
I don't.
I said, how do they have all these costumes in an
Oh,
attic?
because Grandma keeps giving him like clothes and things to make him be quiet and stay in the attic. Yeah. So after the ballerina,
Why didn't
You're
she
not
just?
showing off for anybody.
I don't know.
Well, they are showing off for
For each other, yeah. So after the ballerina scene, Heather Graham comes back and tells the kids that they're married, or she's married, not them. She's married to the lawyer, and that she went to Europe for the honeymoon for like 3 weeks, and that's why she hasn't been around for a while. And at this point, we learn it's been 2.5 years of all these kids in the attic.
So what's going on with the twins, or is that something you're saying?
Something kind of happens later, but they don't do nothing. They just
Okay,
get
okay,
upset
okay, I
that
gotcha.
they're like, "I want to play outside," and they're like, "We can't," and that's it.
Oh, okay.
So later, Grandma whips the brother for some reason, but I kind of forgot why. And after he gets whipped, the daughter and the brother finally kiss, so that's cool because that's been coming up for like 30 minutes. Then they have.
I've just been waiting.
I've been waiting. I'm like, come on, do it. And then so they kiss and then they have sex.
He's Beavis.
And then
picturing Mike watching this is Beavis.
No. We're waiting forever.
I mean, it's just a movie about kids in an attic. What else do you want me to want them to do? I want them to have sex. They'll let them have fun. Then in the morning they have sex again, because I guess that's just what happens. And then the brother has been reading too much Bible, and this is like a few months of them banging. And he says he doesn't quite say God wills it, but he's kind of close to it. So like during his God speech, I get really like excited that he might say it, but he doesn't. And then like during this scene, it kind of seems
Like that he might say what? The power of Christ.
No, God wills it. Like that's my favorite line in cinema. So.
He doesn't say it.
Yeah, he didn't say it, but
I'm on a mission from God.
Ooh, that would have been great too. He meant to say all that. He was young. He doesn't know. And this happened in the 70s, so those movies didn't come out yet. So.
That's true.
So they go try to find money to finally like escape because they're banging, so they want to escape and bang away. And then the sister kisses the sleeping lawyer husband of her mother, and the brother gets really jealous and shakes her. So we get a really cool like shaking
That
scene.
woman shaking again.
Shakes the hell out of her, like ah! And then
why is that a recurring element in the movies we watch for this podcast? Is shaking
after
women.
he shakes his sister that he's
Mine
fucking.
has a lot of women shaking.
She apologizes to him, so apparently shaking works.
Shake yourself.
And then after she apologizes, they kiss some more. I missed that one. What happened?
I said, shake yourself.
I knew it was that. God damn it. So after the shaking and another sex scene, they talk about coming to Florida because that's where all the fucking freaks come. So why not them too? One of the little twins gets sick and dies, and then Owen Wilson doesn't really care about it. And it turns out that grandma's actually been poisoning everyone, and so the little child died first. Then they fucking grow some balls and run away, and they beat up grandma, and that's the end.
I'm mad I just thought of this, but I wish we were calling the twins the Yin Yang twins the whole time.
Jesus!
I'm really pissed we missed that.
You missed that,
opportunity.
guys. You let me down. Yeah. You let the country down. You let the Yin Yang twins down.
You didn't even call them crisscross or anything.
That would have been even cooler. Well, that's my movie, and as TJ said, I fucked up my bullet points of why I should watch this movie.
Like your movie sets it up for a sequel or even a franchise.
So this is actually a remake of 5 movies.
Like 5 movies put into one, or the same story.
Yeah, like it's like they're called something weird, like Petals in the attic and like Petunias in the basement. I'm not making it up. It's like some weird shit.
No, it sounds like you're making.
I know.
It up.
No. Like it's a movie. It's a book that was turned into like 4 movies and a 5th movie that never came out, and they were all named after like different flowers in different parts of the house.
Petunias in the basement sounds like.
Obviously, I made the Petunia part
6
up.
feet under song.
But I'm just saying, use your imagination is what I'm saying.
Bougainvillea in the bathroom.
I'm out of flowers, so this is lilacs in the kitchen. That's all I got. I don't know.
Lilacs in the kitchen.
Damn it! All I had was roses in the restroom.
Oh, that's really good.
Daisies at the dinner table.
I'm out of flowers. Is cactus a flower? I don't know.
I know there's flowers for Algernon, but it's not about incest at all. It's about like a guy who's an idiot who becomes a genius, and then he's on a thing that makes him a genius.
Yeah, we all went to 5th grade. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't read any book in high school. I don't know. Is this a high school book? I don't know.
Holy shit. So
Angus, you said you've been cultivating some chrysanthemum in this past week. Why don't you tell us about the experience with that new plant?
Goddamn asshole.
Fuck you. I'm not getting into that. That's private, and you knew this.
I don't like to talk about
we wouldn't talk about our gardening on this show.
I don't like to talk about my pruning publicly. It's awkward.
Okay. So, I picked the theme.
He did.
Which was...
Yeah. Did you forget?
Was no, I'm trying to close out all my Ludacris lyrics.
I almost had some Drake lyrics for you, but I didn't want to say the N-word, so I stopped.
Drake's a rapper?
Okay, so I picked Lifetime movies for a reason because I originally wanted to watch a movie that I've heard about and it seemed hilarious called A Tale of Two Corys, which is about Corey Feldman and Corey Haim.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, like, it was released like a year ago or maybe a little less, but
okay.
Feldman actually like was one of the consultants on the movie. And all he did was make himself sound like a badass throughout the whole like childhood.
Awesome.
While Corey Haim just got fucked repetitively by everybody in Hollywood. But like Feldman was too cool. Like he was fighting off like people like, nah, you can't touch me, and he like just pulls jiu-jitsu moves on people.
What an asshole. Isn't the one guy dead, right?
Yes.
Yes, his dead friend he had getting
His
fucking
dead best friend.
Dude, if I
He
die,
was
you guys
getting
better not
fucked
make
all
me a
over.
gay pedo, whatever the fuck thing.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry if one of you guys died. I felt I would be only upholding your legacy and what you really wanted by portraying you as someone who got repeatedly raped.
But it wasn't.
I
even
know that's
that,
what
like,
Angus would want.
I know that's what Angus would like, yeah.
Yes, I would. But he made it seem like he loved it.
No.
He made it seem like there was no real crime happening.
Wait, I kind of agree. I think he probably liked it. I'm just going to say that right off the bat.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I've met gay people. They like it. That's all I'm going to say.
Wait, they like the
I've never met, yeah, I'm not even going to get into it.
I should no. We should not ask for clarification on that statement.
Mike just meant they liked the Lost Boys a lot.
Yeah,
Good
Great movie.
gay guys really
Good
love
movie.
Corey Haim.
Love Corey Haim.
The Frog Brothers all day. Anyways, I didn't pick that because of our. I thought it would be weird to just go on that for 30 minutes.
30
so.
minutes.
Wait, so you
That's
picked
the
a different
whole
movie?
No, I'm just saying, like, me explaining it for 30
Yeah, I feel
minutes
ya.
about
Yeah.
that would probably be
Yeah.
uncomfortable. So, I went on YouTube and found, I just searched Lifetime movies, found something about a dead baby, and I was like, oh, we can make jokes about that. And then I was like, well, no, we can't. Not for a half hour, that'd be awkward. So,
We'd be exhausted.
exactly. So, I found it, like, just looking through, I found a movie called Fatal Vows, the Alexandria O'Hara story.
Ooh, I'm
Ooh, I
excited.
love these weird
And-
biopics. I passed on so many of them.
Yeah. And the picture of it, like, it was hard to see because it's, like, a really blurry image, but it was a guy staring, like, very menacingly, and then, like, a photo of a family cracked. Like, it was falling on the floor and broken. So, I was like, okay, this is what I want to watch. So I turned the movie on. There's a woman cleaning in the kitchen. She's telling this kid, get ready for school, and the kid doesn't want to. He's like, I'm playing bugs, and he's like in a fucking
Like the movie?
blanket. Like, this is the movie.
Oh, he's playing the movie Bugs?
No. Yeah, he's playing
No,
the movie Bugs.
God,
You
no.
mean watching the movie Bugs?
Oh,
No, he was playing like he was a bug.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
He's
Did
like,
he have a bug
I'm
costume?
a bug. No, he had a fucking blanket over his head.
He's playing with his
That's not
balls.
a bug. That's a ghost.
Well, his dumb mother encouraged this stupid behavior,
All
and her
right.
fucking dumb child. He's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, bugs, ah,
Oh
weird.
no, she doesn't know what a bug is. She's so dumb.
No. So, later on, they're walking down the street, she's taking him to school, some police drive by, like, well, they don't do a drive-by, they just, like, drive by them. And then the father tells her that they found the body of a missing girl.
Like
Wait,
in
by
front
the
of the
father,
kid?
I mean, like... Yeah, but by
He
father, I
shows
didn't
up
mean
and like,
her.
son.
Son, your sister's missing.
No. Hold on. I wrote this down and I forgot. It's not the father of them or the kid or anything. It's like the church father. I don't know what that's called. I've never been to church.
The reverend.
Sure, yeah, the reverend. And then she's like, "Oh, thank you, Father, for telling me about the missing girl body."
In front of my child.
In front of my 5-year-old child I'm taking to
Oh,
school, yes.
That is totally a pastor faux pas.
And then he invited the kid on some, like, weird trip, like, for the weekend.
Oh, no.
After telling about a dead girl.
Yes. No,
Like,
I'm
hey,
kidding
they found
about
a
that
dead
part.
girl. You want to go for a weekend trip?
No mothers allowed. Alright, shit. That's gonna get cut. So the woman goes to the doctor, and there's this dude who's, like, watching her, and he follows her into the doctor's office, and he introduces himself.
As Rockwell.
And... Huh?
I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Watching me. My favorite part of that fucking dumb song is where he's like, and when I'm standing there washing my hair, like, the fucking washing my hair line is the dumbest fucking thing.
It's a very vulnerable time of your life when you're washing your hair.
I just want to tell you, I want to tell you guys that I watch this video at least once a month for the last, like, 10 years. I just want you guys to know that.
You don't feel extra
Well, you're not
vulnerable because
respond-
not only are you naked, you're also in the shower and wet. If someone came at you, you'd probably slip and fall and bust your ass trying to defend yourself.
I always get nervous
and
when
on
I
top
wash my
of that,
hair.
you have fucking soap in your hair. So, like, if something goes wrong, not only will you slip and fall and bust your ass, but you will blind yourself with that soap in your eye. That is the most
You wash your
vulnerable
hair
time
with
of your
soap?
life.
It's true.
Well, I mean, shampoo, but it burns, so
Oh.
it's whatever.
Okay.
When we all lived together, I was with
Yeah,
a chick
every
in
time
our...
that you were shampooing, me and Mike are like, he's watching. Let's go get
He
him.
wants it. Let's give it to him.
You guys
Earl,
are
I'm gonna
watching.
give it to you. Crank up that Earl DMX Simmons.
Oh no, not Earl. But no, like, I was washing my hair and the girl started sucking my dick and, like, I freaked out and, like, I opened my eyes and the shampoo went into my eyes. That's a very vulnerable spot. I'm freaking out, like, and I'm, like, waving and, like, my dick's flopping out and, like, I'm just like, ah, and she's like, what's wrong? Like, my eyes. And... So, yeah, no, I get it. Being scared when you're washing your hair is terrifying.
I would have just cried tears of blood rather than ruin a blood.
But then she went back and she started sucking, but then she started sucking the shampoo soap.
Oh.
And then she got grossed out and then it went nowhere. Fuck. Okay,
Glad
so...
I wasn't in the stall with you for that one.
The dude's watching her from outside. He comes in and the doctor's like, oh, this is my buddy and you should listen to him. He's great and all this. So she's just like, oh, yeah, I get it. And then she runs outside, like, I guess her appointment's over, and she runs outside to catch her bus.
So she runs. Like, I mean, anytime she's done somewhere,
She knows
runs
what's coming.
away.
I'd run too.
Well,
I guess she said she's paranoid. I guess if I was paranoid
Yeah.
too, like I go grocery shopping, like, thank you. After I wake up, get my receipt, just fucking book it to the car.
yes, the movie I'm watching is Fatal Vows, the Rockwell O'Hara story.
Was she a famous sprinter?
The bus was leaving. That's why she was running. She was running for the fucking bus.
Running.
And now this man is like standing by the devil. Oh, I can't wait till we can sing that song when I introduce. So the guy offers her a ride, and she's like, okay, I guess. He's like, yeah, I do this for a living, and she takes a... gives random women rides. Guess who missed the bus? That's his job. Oh god, that's a Crisscross song. We can go back to our rap, our 90s rap. I missed the bus. He asks her out and fuck. She turns him down. I can't get through a sentence.
And I know how I feel.
I have 8 more pages.
She turns him down because I don't want.
I hope that's in like 55 font. What the fuck?
Fuck, I wish I didn't like that. God damn it.
This is why this episode's taken forever, because we're all drunk and singing. The musical
I was gonna say,
episode.
like, I don't...
Every show has one.
I don't know if this episode is good or bad at
This
this
episode
rate. Like,
will be amazing.
we're laughing, but I don't think anybody else
It's okay
will.
because
That's
the only
fine.
ones that listen to it are you and TJ, so...
It's true. Just to make sure it worked.
Yeah, hello,
We're like,
listeners.
well, hopefully.
Angus, how you doing, future Angus, future TJ?
I'm good. I guess that's my future self.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fuck you. Let me
Go!
continue.
This isn't as funny. Oh, well, fuck you, future TJ. Let Angus continue talking. Okay, fine.
There, fuck your life,
believe that we
Angus.
should
What?
make TJ have 4 beers before every episode. I think that would just be great.
I love
I think
it.
this is great.
I love
this is
it
best
so
TJ.
much.
Not saying you're only great when you're drunk. I'm
I
just
should
saying.
just go out to dinner and get a little drunk with my family and then drive home and start the episode.
I don't think you should talk about your drinking and driving episodes on the public forum.
I mean, you know what I meant.
With your 2-year-old kid, I'm just saying.
He just admits to crimes on the show now.
By the way, I'm single now. Let's not talk about that. Like, what? What happened to your
Oh, you're
wife?
single, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey.
Fuck me. I can't wait till he listens to this again. It's like, nope, this has to go. This has to go. This has to go.
No, I'm just gonna be like,
We have a
this is awful.
44-minute podcast.
Hey, this is awful. This is awful. This is awful. This is awful. No one listens. This is only funny
All
to
right.
us.
Fuck it.
Let's hear more about your movie.
Let's
I'm
get some more
trying
songs.
so fucking hard. You guys won't let me.
Is it because I talked about
My
incest?
dog's
so you're
barking
so
for you
fucking hard?
guys to shut the
Is that
fuck
what made
up.
you hard? Is that what's making you hard right now?
Oh, Gerbil's gonna eat that. Zorp, squonk,
Yip, yip.
Should I continue?
Yeah,
or not?
you should continue. We're on a podcast.
You fuckers won't let me.
Just tell us the name of
This has been 6 minutes of me trying to get out one sentence.
All right.
So he asks her out. She says no. Now this guy is calling her at work and harassing her for a date. Fuck. I didn't catch the guy's name, but I know his acting name, so I'll just call him by that. So John is like, fuck, that doesn't sound right. Like, I feel like he deserves more respect. Mr. Stamos
Fuck you!
jumps out after she's walking her child home.
What? That's a selling point too. Why are you telling us that now?
Wait. If you're bringing out John Stamos right now, that means you're hiding something even better for the segment.
Right? Because Stamos is nuclear. Nuclear.
What else do you have behind your hip? Or whatever the saying is.
Behind your head? Up your sleeve?
My asshole.
Wait, like D. John Stamos?
Stamos?
Whatever. I mean,
Stamos. He sounds like a shitty fucking soccer player.
How is his hair looking?
oh, is it good? Is it good looking?
Dude,
Oh, of course it was looking good.
fabulous.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah, it's-
this is 1994 Stamos.
Oh my God.
Fucking
My
peak
son-
Stamos.
It's so unfortunate my wife did not let me call my firstborn Stamos.
I mean, you should have went with the middle
That
name.
really bums me out.
That was the plan for 12 years, and she finally got pregnant. And her first words were, "I'm pregnant, you can't name him Stamos."
Well, it was that and Gustav were the two we were pushing for really
Gustav was
hard.
going to be like the third.
So there's still a chance for a Gustav.
Yeah. Well, no, it's still a chance for a Stamos, but I don't want another kid. That's real talk.
Okay.
All right, so we're John
I'm
Stamos
literally-
being creepy.
Yeah, he jumps out from behind dumpsters with flowers. Like I said,
Boogity, boogity,
I have
bitch.
flowers in my movie.
I'm John Stamos.
Here's some fucking flowers. What kind of flowers were they?
Oh my god.
Roses, some
Uh,
lilies, some nice orchids.
Some angry orchids. And I thought it was orchard, not orchid.
Orchard?
I think the R is
Maybe, like,
silent.
Where there's an orchard.
I don't know.
Where there's like lots of different trees, like similar
that's
to a grove,
Called an orchid.
just depending on the type of tree. But an orchid is actually like a large kind of flowering plant. You
Are we
actually-
really going to start a gardening
wouldn't-
podcast?
I
you
think
wouldn't
TJ could
give
start one by
someone
himself.
orchids? Like you don't have a bouquet of orchids. You mostly give them like any pot because they're a large plant. But
Okay, anyway, she's not creeped out that he figured out where she lived within like 3
Because he has
hours.
beautiful hair, of course.
yeah,
Yeah, so Stamos takes her and the kid to the museum because he wants to teach the kid about bugs. Because the kid likes
because he
bugs.
doesn't know the difference between bugs and ghosts.
Yeah, he's like, you fucking idiot. That blanket isn't a bug. This is a bug.
Yeah.
That's also a Pearl Jam song, so it's exciting for me.
Bugs aren't ghosts.
This is a bug.
No, Bugs is a weird Pearl Jam song with like no guitar at all, really.
This is a ghost. Learn
It's not a bug.
It's played with like those
Little
things that like
bastard.
I don't know what instrument they are. I can't even think.
Don't call me Bug. I am a ghost.
Can't find a better blanket.
I don't even know which one of you two said that one.
I don't know either. I'll have to ask future TJ. I don't know.
Okay, fuck me.
We're at the museum.
This is getting weird. We gotta go.
What's going on at the museum?
This is fucking. This is weird. So John Stamos tells her that he's an undercover cop and he flashes his badge, right? And she doesn't want to bang him until he
She's a
walks
cop
out.
Killer.
Hey,
Man,
you got one.
god damn it!
Great.
And then she was like, "Fuck the police." I like that our rap keeps getting older and older. Next, she said, "A hip, a hop, a hibbity, a hip, hip hop."
Actually picturing Heather Graham singing that to John Stamos in 1994, and I want to see this movie right now.
She kind of does look like Heather Graham. I'm not gonna lie. She does. Okay, so she pulls him back in and bangs him. Then there's another day, and somebody's breaking into her house, and she grabs a knife, and then Stamos just barges into the door saying, "Hey, you need new locks." Because he fucking just broke them. But now he's like, no, these locks won't do. So he buys her a house, and then he introduces her to his family. And his nephew is Bud Bundy.
What?
And yeah, his nephew's Bud Bundy.
The actor?
Yes. From Married with Children, it's Bud Bundy.
Okay.
All right.
Like older version with the goatee and everything.
Wow.
And then he introduces his papa, who's like very godfathery, like in the way he talks.
Is it
and
Marlon
stuff.
fucking Brando?
It's not. But it's honestly pretty good. He's the villain from Roadhouse. He's the guy who owned the house like across from him. And this will make Mike happy. Like basically it shows them like all, and it's just one big guinea family.
Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah.
happy.
The grandmother of the woman, like they show her, like she basically looks like Bubbles from the Trailer Park Boys with a terminal disease. So now Bud Bundy and his girl are like painting the house, and Bud chases her, and he pushes her to the wall to kiss her. But when he does, you can tell like the paint drips off my. But when he did it, like you could tell he went way too hard and like was grabbing way more tit than he should have, like in the actual like shot. So that was pretty fun. It's such a Bud Bundy thing to do. Stamos is looking at their expense reports and is like, your father has $21,000 in retirement. Let me take that and I can make it bigger. She's like, okay. He's mad that the kid's crying and he's like, I have to go to work. So then, like, when he's driving, he picks up this girl. And now Bud Bundy's scared because his girlfriend is missing. That was the girl he picked up. There's dramatic shots in slow motion looking at trains with John Stamos' face fading in between trains, which is pretty awesome. Of him just staring at him like an autistic weirdo.
Come on, ride the train. Ride.
Does that even count? And then now it cuts to tight shirt John Stamos riding a horse majestically.
Whoa! what
like
is
very
left to
tight
sell
shirt.
this movie? What the heck?
Yeah, like he Bud Bundy whipped out, now a fucking majestic horse riding Stamos.
Yeah.
What can you possibly end this?
Stamos.
Jesus.
Stamos. He's so excited for Stamos he can't pronounce it.
Yes.
Alright, so now Bud Bundy's girlfriend is dead.
Oh.
And they go to the funeral, and her mother like runs at them, yelling at them, and she's blaming Bud Bundy and Stamos for killing her. And then I just wrote Guinea yelling fight.
Get him.
Now the woman, like Alexandra O'Hara, is starting not to trust him and wants to know where her parents' money is. And he's just like, it's fine, baby, don't worry. Now John's hanging outside of a bodega trying to pick up schoolgirls by buying them cigarettes.
Classic Stamos.
It is. That's such a Stamos move. And like they were like probably like 15, 16, like they were wearing like the skirts and everything, like they were in like private school and shit.
Yeah, of course.
And they get in. Now there's like this little party.
Get in?
Waka. Little Muppet reference there.
He gets something in. There's this party. There's a redhead warning the girl that he's dangerous. Watch out for him. Now Stamos' brother's daughter is missing.
Oh.
That's one of the girls that he picked up.
He picked up his own daughter?
His brother's daughter, his niece.
What a creep.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't think John would do this. This isn't real life.
And his brother, it's like,
now,
it's been so long since you've been gone.
Yeah, you need to
singing about his daughter.
Stop.
I could see like Dave Coulier doing this.
Yeah, he'd be perfect.
The detective Shapiro is suspecting him now.
Shakira?
Shapiro.
Oh.
Oh.
Shakira.
Shakira. I was like, this movie gets better and better. Shakira's the detective trying to hunt down John Stamos.
These hips don't lie, but you do. I hated that I said that.
Well, I liked it.
Start to suspect him and the wife and ask them. And now the wife says, like, why didn't you tell him you were a cop? And he's like, I'm deep undercover. I'm watching the cops.
Oh.
And then she calls, like, a hotline number to verify if his badge number is real. And then they were giving it up. Like, they were like, ma'am, like, you need to give us that immediately. Where are you? Where are you? And then she hears him come in. She's like, oh, no. And then just hangs up the phone. She's panicking, and she packs up her shit to her mother, and, like, then he threatens her and stuff, like, you can't go anywhere. Then Stamos, like, steals her kid from a fucking, like, a jungle gym, takes him home, and just burns him in a bathtub.
Oh.
Oh!
Yeah, he takes the child and just runs him under hot water and burns the kid severely.
Oh, no.
I thought you may, like, set him on fire.
Yeah, I thought he was
No,
burning up.
no.
Like,
Like, he
whoa.
turns... Well,
Thought he was
it's still pretty
terminated.
bad. He turns the hot water on and, like, burns the kid to the point he needs to go to the hospital.
Yeah. But that's
And
not
then
an
he
immolation.
blames... It's still pretty bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
I love that you guys are just sticking up for Stamos just because he's Stamos.
Yeah.
Hair don't lie.
You're basically being her in this whole movie. Like, she's just turning a blind eye to all this. You guys are taken in.
So she
Yes!
turns, like, blind eye to the kid burning.
Everything! This woman is a fucking monster.
So you would say
he
she's
blames her for
enabling
not being
Stamos,
there.
and Stamos really isn't to blame. It's her for letting him do it.
Yes, she's an enabler. I don't like her. So they both get arrested because the child's burned. She said, he's a cop. You can't do this. And then the detective's like, he's no cop. And now the cop is blaming her for being a victim. And now they're in court, and she's lying because she's scared. Like, she could get him convicted right there and everything, but he's, like, terrified her to the point, like, she can't tell the truth. And now the Bubbles mother's watching the kid. And then I just wrote, abusing, at work, take kid and run. So now we're at a point where there's... like, it was all boring. Like, that's what happened. She got back with him, he's abusing her, and then she, like, runs out in the middle of the night, takes a kid. Anyways, now there's sexy leather coat John Stamos.
Yeah, the best.
And he brings a chick back, like, and he has, like, the blackest, slickest hair while wearing this leather coat. And he brings this chick back to his place, and she's just like, oh, this is getting kind of weird. There's a picture of your wife there. And then he's like, oh, that's cool. And then he just turns it around and tries to bang her. But she's like, oh, I don't know. This feels weird. Give me some clothes to put on, because she was, like, wet out in the rain. So she puts on, like, a pair of the one chick's pants. And then he's mad because she won't fuck him.
So it's okay to put
Go
on
ahead.
the other chick's clothes, but not... Okay, whatever.
Yeah, she can put on the wife's clothes but not fuck her husband.
Okay.
She has morals. But he's mad because she won't fuck him, so he kills her. And now we find Alexandra, like, running. Like, he finds her, and he's, like, running at her, and there's, like, zany saxophone chase music playing while he does it. It's like... Well, not really the circus theme, but you know what I mean. The...
That sounded like Mario.
I suck at doing...
Mario's coming.
I can't...
No.
The next one I would do is just a who can it be now? So he's chasing her to Baker Street.
Oh my god. That was our song, bro.
So now he kills a 10-year-old girl.
God, how many people is this guy killing?
And every time they suspect him, he charms his way out of it. They're just like, you couldn't have killed anybody. You're too handsome, Stamos.
It would have got me. I would have been like, well, I never saw it coming.
I could just kill a man.
Oh, God damn. I think you did that one already. Did you?
I don't think he did.
Damn it. You did some... Damn it. Now I'm mad I didn't do it. She's watching the news and she's living with him still, even knowing that he's killed all these people, and he's forcing cough syrup down her throat. Now the detectives are interviewing him, and Bud Bundy's angry, and he starts to call Stamos out, like, you were around all these girls, you had a thing with all of them. And then John Stamos, his response to all this of people blaming him is he's blaming the liberal media.
Nuh-uh.
I got so excited.
I feel like sometimes Angus is just writing to make me happy.
Yeah.
I've just been compiling your messages to me for the last 2 years and making a movie out of it. Murdered women, Stamos, liberal media lying. It's got it all. So now they're being investigated again for like the 5th fucking time. And guess what? He gets away, but she's talking to another fucking the detective. She's talking to one of the detectives, right? It's not Shapira or Shakira. This is
or as Mike would say,
Detective. This is Detective Cabrillo, who's actually the zombie Big Daddy from Land of the Dead.
Oh, wow.
I knew him from something. I was looking at him and I'm like, he looks so fucking familiar. And then when I saw his name, I'm like, oh, it's Big Daddy from Land of the Dead. So all he does is blame her for everything. And he just keeps blaming her for everybody dying. They let him go. And now they're outside of a house, and they let him go, and then it cuts to a scene of those same detectives who let him go, threatening him outside of his house with a helicopter. And now Stamos is, like, taunting them like a fucking wrestler, like, asking for more hits. Dun, 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 dun. She tells the detective on the phone while he's out there fucking with them, like, she knows what to do, just tell them to leave. So the other detectives leave. We cut back to sexy Stamos horseback riding. And they run away, and she puts on a wire. And eventually he admits that the dead girl was wearing her pants because she was like, you know, those are my pants, right, sweetie? And he's like, no, everybody has pants. And she was like, yeah, but that was my stain. And he's like, okay, she was wearing your pants. And as soon as he was going to admit that he killed her, Bud Bundy calls and says that Papa's in the hospital. So they go to see Papa. And, like, the media is there, the media circus, the liberal media, man, is trying to give Stamos a hard time.
Just for murdering a few girls.
Yeah, like, fuck, man. Like, if we all, like, were being investigated for that, we'd all be in trouble.
Yeah. It wasn't like a dozen of them, it was only a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 4. Who gives a shit?
Not enough to start a hashtag movement.
Papa is in his bed and he's like very weird and like telling Stamos how much he loves him. And then Papa grabs Stamos and is like, come here, give me a kiss. Give me a kiss for old time's sake. And is trying to make out with John Stamos.
Who wouldn't?
And the thing is, like, she sees it and she's like, oh my God, you used to fuck your dad. And he's like, no, I didn't. He fucked me. And then it was just awkward. And then he's snapping now because of all that. So he's in the hospital and he admits that he killed all the women. But then he finds the recorder on her and he gives her a handgun and is like telling her to kill him. And he's like, just do it. Do it. Kill me. I dare you. Kill me. And then she's like about to pull the trigger, but then Papa, he sounds the alarm and the guys come in and arrest him, the detectives. And that's the end of my movie.
The end.
All right.
The end.
That was a wild ride.
So, yeah.
It took so long to get there.
So it was John Stamos and then Bud Bundy. I mean,
Stamos!
I think we might as well just roll right into our best pruning points, where we will talk about our favorite
fuck you
of the plants.
This is what we get for giving TJ so much power.
Or his family giving him so much alcohol.
So for Jim Henson's Turkey Hollow, when it came down to find the selling points, I was like, well, this is a pretty well-paced movie that does absolutely nothing you wouldn't already expect. So my selling points I've pretty much already...
Luda!
That's it. That's one of them, Ludacris Bridges. The selling point is I really only scratched the surface of his on-screen narration.
Oh.
He gets a fair chunk of screen time of this movie. Like I said, every 12 minutes, the movie had to go to a commercial break, and he would take the movie out towards that fade to black, and then bring it back in. So you have at least... I guess like 5 or 6 minutes of Ludacris Bridges materials. And the other selling point is always, of course, is why I watched it, is there's creepy looking Muppets in it.
Yeah, Muppets are the best.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately for me, there's only one good scene in this whole movie, and it was ruined. So
One good scene.
really the only
So sad.
the only thing that exciting that happens is like you get to pretend Owen Wilson is playing Heather Graham playing a shitty mom, which is pretty exciting. But and so that is my bullet point of why you should watch my film, Owen Wilson.
All right.
Okay.
Angus,
I like it.
thank you.
Well, you guys were like, oh, why'd you
I can't
give
wait.
your selling point away? Well,
I'm holding my dick
is,
right now.
I had
thank
to
you.
say it was John Stamos. That's too big of a thing to leave out.
very bad.
While
In the
talking
same
about this
way,
movie,
I
'cause-
had to give up Ludacris Bridges.
Yeah, okay.
exactly. You can't save that to the end. Or else we'd have missed so many fucking things.
true.
Yeah.
To talk about.
We wouldn't have sang the entire episode.
Exactly. So the thing is, we have John Stamos basically playing Patrick Bateman, but more handsome because he's John Stamos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
with better hair.
That's pretty fucking big. Plus, we have Bud Bundy.
Yeah.
I'm now
You can't
picturing
go wrong with
American
Bud Bundy.
Psycho starring John Stamos.
Oh my god, instead of the facials, he would just talk about his hair for 10 minutes.
Yes! That whole scene is just about him styling
Dude, if I
his
ever win the
hair.
lottery, I'm making him make a movie with this. This is a remake with John Stamos.
Instead of Phil Collins and Huey Lewis, it would be the soundtrack from Never Too Young to Die.
No, it's Beach Boys
Yeah, it would be the
music
Beach
that he
Boys.
played on. Listen to that drumming. It's fucking incredible, right? Yeah, no, it's good, Mr. Stamos. Instead of his fancy suits putting on, he's just putting on leather jackets.
Let's head straight
Yeah,
to
that's a fucking bullet point.
a
for
bullet
you.
point.
All right, so now we've got to the bullet points for the quickest amount of time ever. We'll move on to our favorite part of the episode. It's time to relate all of these Lifetime movies that we watched to Paul W.S. Anderson's classic from 1997. That's 21 years ago now. Event Horizon, a segment we call the Horizon Shift. So I went first. Here's my Horizon Shift first. It was pretty tough to find a Horizon Shift in this Turkey Muppet movie, but I did find something. So when the kids first discover the Turkey Muppets, there's a scene where they come across a well in the middle of the woods that the turkeys kind of congregate around. And they drop rocks and they don't hear them drop, and they kind of decide maybe this is the magical otherworldly realm where the turkeys come from. Kind of the core of the Event Horizon opens up a deep abyss into another world from which magic and monsters can emerge.
Nice.
Oh,
I like that.
that's beautiful. I, unfortunately, have nothing as beautiful as that.
I bet not.
So for me, it's kind of like you just have to bear with me and use your imagination. So imagine if
How long is this going to take?
Imagine if instead of cool Dr. Weir, the hell entity in Event Horizon or whatever the fuck was happening thing instead tried to work itself magic. It worked the voodoo magic on a southern grandma whose daughter was fucking her own husband. And she was so mad about it that she managed to fight off this hell entity for 18 years. But then, after 18 years, the harlot daughter comes back with 4 hell spawns. By the way, the whole movie, the grandma calls these children hell spawns and wicked and all these kind of things. And she just can't take it anymore. And the hell entity starts winning and making the children suffer. That's what I got.
So both movies have villains? I don't get it.
That's all I had. I don't know, man. That's all I had.
I thought he disguised that in such a clever way, though, like to make it sound.
Thank you, Angus.
I was listening.
One person used their fucking imagination. Anyway,
I was into it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no,
I liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. I liked it. I didn't get it. I liked it.
Angus?
All right, mine's really short, but I have like a little aside after it because I forgot to mention this because it's a little funny to me at least. So the way my movie kind of goes with Event Horizon is we all know John Stamos is the most handsome man ever,
Yeah.
right? 100% agreed.
Yeah.
But like he's not as handsome, but I would still call him handsome. Is
Cooper?
Sam Neill?
Oh.
Like he's
Cooper. Yeah,
a pretty handsome man for like an older
I thought I
guy.
was going to Cooper too. To Richard T.
No,
Jones.
I'm gonna go with Sam. He is handsome, dreamy even.
Yeah, he's aged well
But-
too. He's got a little bulky, but he still carries it really well.
Yeah, but the way these two relate is like they seem to enjoy killing. That's what I got.
I no longer feel so bad for mine.
Yeah, no, I didn't prepare for that one at all. But
These are hard.
Speaking of dead people,
Yeah.
one of the funny things about my movie is I'm not gonna say the name of the person,
Right.
and I'm not gonna say what this person did. But they involved the movie getting made on the like it came up in the credits, right? And I saw the name and I went, "Holy fuck!" Because it's pretty funny. The name that popped up is the name of the girl I lost my virginity to, who's dead.
Oh.
Whoa!
So yeah,
Wow.
What's her name?
I just said I'm not saying that.
You can watch the movie and find out.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I didn't say what this person did.
I thought they had like a thanks on there.
I'm trying to be. Well, it's not the actual person. Like,
Special thanks to X for
You don't know that.
banging Angus in
I didn't-
5 to 8 years.
I didn't. Well, thank you for thinking I lost my virginity at 10. God bless
You
you.
grew up in Lake Worth. I don't know what they do over there.
It might have been 13.
Oh, I was gonna say then that means the girl was fucking like 6. That's not good.
As long as you're 8, it's fine. 3-year rule.
3, is that like the 5-second rule? I guess I should pick a movie now.
Pick it.
I don't want to.
No, you do. You know you do, and I know we all know who you're picking.
This is the first time ever I'd want to just go back and just pick my own and watch the fucking Muppets again. No, we don't know who I'm picking, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, because, like, yeah, I'm going to swerve you, because I'm not sold on just Stamos alone. And what sounds like one of the
I gave you so much more than that.
and one of what sounds like one of the most lifetimey of all Lifetime movies that Lifetime would ever make in our lifetimes.
And fucking raping your own fucking family in the attic isn't?
That
Fuck you.
dark and weird
My
and
mo-
kind of
my-
like
my
different.
movie had
and
no rape.
And it ends so strange. Like I said, it ends like there might be a franchise. So what if they decide to make a sequel and I want to see it? I'll have to see Flowers in the Attic first.
Great point.
You'll never fucking watch any of them, you fucking asshole, and you know
because
it.
I love to consume movies. Yeah, there's 4 other adaptations. Maybe I'd like to compare and contrast. There's so much
eat
richness
shit. You're not
to it.
gonna watch them.
Well, and Heather Graham acting like Owen Wilson. Actually,
No, Owen Wilson acting like Heather Graham.
it has Heather Graham.
Yes.
Every time he said it, I was like, "That sounds super interesting."
Yes.
And,
That's
like,
the only part of that was sellable.
You didn't like the
Fuck
incense?
you.
It
No, incense?
no.
smelled like petunias.
But like, just yeah, there sounds. And Angus like said, there's been boring stretches in his movies, and I was so confused listening.
There
to it.
were no boring
You literally
stretches.
said there was. You said that she went back to work and got abused. And you just wrote notes
Well,
and said this was boring.
That was the only part, but it was fucking great because
Hey.
he's pounding on the window and
Hey.
all her coworkers
Hey,
are
you
like,
had
"Oh,
30 minutes.
You're dating a crazy man. Stop
Mike
that."
sounded like it was quick, like mine. Quick, short, to the point, and just forgettable.
Bada bing,
whatever.
bada boom, huh?
Oh,
And
forgettable! You want to watch a movie that's fucking forgettable?
Who are you picking, brother?
You're just fucking selling your own self out now as a fucking
Who-
dumb
who
movie
you
watch.
picking?
Fuck
Who are you
you!
picking?
Fuck
Who are you
you!
picking?
You drunk
Who are you
fuck!
picking?
He's so mad. He's been so pissed this whole episode.
Who are you picking? Dude, okay.
Go ahead, who you picking,
Could you
asshole?
pick?
Mike, you go second.
What?
You go second, Mike.
Who you pick?
I picked your movie.
Oh!
That's why I'm so mad.
Jesus. Okay. Well, I thought there was absolutely zero possibility of me not picking TJ's movie, but I was proved wrong with John Stamos and Bud Bundy, and our beautiful humor together. So I'm going with. I want to watch Angus's Lifetime shtick with John Stamos. Angus, your turn.
You know what? Like, I had my winner picked out.
Oh Jesus.
But TJ's selling of your movie, Mike,
Yes.
sold me.
Wow.
You win, motherfucker.
Wow. Oh, I don't know what to say. I didn't have a speech written because I would feel I would
And you
lose.
don't have a list of themes, so I know how we have to wait.
Of
for
course.
Actually, let me swerve you, motherfucker. I have not a list. I have exactly what I want to pick. And our next
All right.
theme is very similar to Tia's past theme, but instead of red dots, we get feathers. I want an Indian-themed movie.
We're all gonna watch Dances with
I was
Wolves.
just saying right there. Watch
Well,
Dances with
that's a
Wolves.
3.5-hour movie, so maybe none of us might watch that.
Let's all do an hour of it. Let's all review 1
Hand it
hour.
over, and we'll decide if the beginning, the middle, or the end is the best part of the movie.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I think I'm middle, so I'll have like a big gap of good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well,
All right. So Native Americans would be the proper term, Michael, just to educate your Polish ass.
not feather. I wonder if Tatanka has like a documentary about him.
Oh my god, why would you say that? Because that would be amazing. Now I'm gonna look for that. And the best part is he's not even fucking Native American.
Wait, he wasn't?
I think he's fucking Italian
Oh,
or some
yeah,
shit.
he had the Italian face. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He had that face.
Well,
That guinea face.
you said it, not me.
So we'll be back next time with Native Americans, and the time after that will be our special event Horizon Month episode.
Ooh.
So that's
And don't forget, people, sign up for the Facebook, the iTunes, follow us, leave
We're on
reviews.
Google
Yes.
Play Music.
Really, just send some of
remember
us messages. I want to hear a message from somebody.
Yep.
Yeah,
yes.
I want to know that somebody's listening.
Just search us out, 16-ounce greenhouse. You'll find us.
Fucking asshole.
Don't give the wrong fucking thing, asshole.
Well, this has been lovely. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed.
See ya.